in a called Sin is Big. Sin is Big Business. Information that I'm using for brief presentation is from Gary Aronson, NSO. I saw this on Facebook and I said, wow, this is a great message, brief, but I think to the point, and I wanted with you today, and I think you agree, especially understand this message, evangelical, shall I say. So let's get, I'm Dr. Cecil Hockerham, and I'm going to just brief message about conservative evangelism loves it. What do they love? Then it's big business. It appeals and keeps followers, sermons, blogs, podcasts, books, conferences, worship sets, machines, all prescribe the secret steps, spiritual practices, and latest prayer formulas to overcome it. Yet, none of it works. And that, my friends, is by design. It's the secret sauce that keeps their followers hungry for more. Once it feels like you get one sin or failing under control, there's always another one waiting around the corner to solicit your religious striving. It's a spiritual treadmill upon which you can never stop running. Whether it's your sin or that of another, sin is the beginning and end of conservative evangelism. I've got to say that one more time. Whether it's your sin or that of another, sin is the beginning and end of conservative evangelism. Without it, and the hell they insist it leads to, conservative evangelism is nothing. Let me say that again. Without it, and the hell they insist it leads to, conservative evangelism is nothing. That's why they render the gospel of pure grace as blasphemous, universal inclusion as heretical, the divine affirmations of all as demonic, and human equity as preposterous. Sin cannot survive them. Their religious game is over. Their religious game is over. Without Jesus, sin only separates you from your true self, not from God. Let me say that one more time. With Jesus, sin only separates you from your true self, not from God. That's why the job of the Holy Spirit isn't to convict you of sin, but rather to convince you of your complete and irresistible righteousness and holiness. That's right. I like to suggest that you read a book by my friend in California, Robin Schmidt. It is finished. That book will give you a good understanding of what it really means to be an inclusivist, someone who believes in the finished work of Jesus on the cross. And that book is by Robin Schmidt, and it is finished. So I would suggest you read that book if you have a need for more information on this topic that we're talking about. But in Jesus, sin is no longer the problem. Instead, making it the problem is the problem. Shall I say that one more time? In Jesus, sin is no longer the problem. You know why? Because sin is mistaken identity. We have forgotten who we really are. We are sons and daughters of God the Most High, our very Creator Himself. We came out of God into this world, into this visible reality we call now, but we really are spirits slowed down to visibility. Many people are saying that around the world, that we're actually visibility because energy has been slowed down to visibility, that we can recognize each other as human beings. Grace, inclusion, divine affirmations, and human equity disarms sin and thus renders conservative evangelism powerless, meaningless, purposeless, and incapable of their seduction. Let me say that one more time. Grace, inclusion, divine affirmation, and human equity disarms sin and thus renders conservative evangelism powerless, meaningless, purposeless, and incapable of their seduction. Instead, it leaves only one thing and one thing only for which to believe, do, and aspire. Sadly, the one thing that much of conservative evangelism hates the most. And that's true if you've been around both camps, and most of us have grown up in the evangelistic camp because that was what was available as we came through our life journey. I want to end with a quote from my dear friend and president of Global Grace Seminary, Dr. Don Keithley. I think this is simple but profound, and I want to end this with it. Grace is a divine influence that it produces effortless change as we rest in Him. This is something that he's been saying for many years, and I think it's profound, simple, and right to the point. Grace. Well, who is grace? It's Jesus. He is a divine influence that produces effortless change as we what? Rest in Him. So our job really is simply just to rest in what we have in Him. We rest in that which we have. So I want to end this simply saying, listen, it's been wonderful to share this with you, and I think that you'll enjoy it as you simply, hey, rest in what God has already done.